Dystopia warning. I wasn't going to make a video today because if I'm honest, I'm hanging like the gods at Babylon, mate. But a few little wannabe GBB's presenters and Sophie Corcoran, hi, deliberately misconstrued tweets about the warm woke. I drew comparisons between the ideology behind Putin and the contributing factors to World War II, a war that I don't mention lightly. There are comparisons to be made. Now, a lot of things aren't their strong suit, least of all nuance, so I thought I'd elaborate and break it down. Fascism and authoritarianism doesn't begin with a boot on the face. It doesn't begin with being dragged out of your home and onto a train. And that's not necessarily how it would even present nowadays, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It starts with freedom of expression not applying to all. It starts with division and hatred, a lack of free press, your right to protest being taken away, barriers towards fair and just elections, the Human Rights Act being torn up. Is it becoming clearer? The anti-woke deflection war doesn't exist in a vacuum. None of this does. And that's why looking at the picture as a whole is important. And we haven't even got onto why the government are doing it, because they're a failure on every level. They're saying, oh, look over there. Look at those people that are suffering an exponential rise in hate crimes due to our previous culture war. You know, the one in which we rewrote a report into institutional racism to pretend it didn't exist, remember? They're doing it because we're a country with more food banks than McDonald's, and the people that rely on those food banks can't take home food that needs to be cooked because they can't afford to turn on their fucking oven because this government has failed to regulate the energy companies. They lack progressive policy, but they don't lack authoritarian policy. People are suffering and starving in Britain, one of the richest countries in the world. The Conservative Party are not the party of fiscal responsibility. They're the party of taking no responsibility, and we can't afford them anymore. So they're getting us all to fight amongst ourselves and turn on communities that are already fighting for their survival, whose very existence is political. They refer to anything that doesn't affect a white cis man as identity politics, as if being a white cis man is the only acceptable identity. They hark on about freedom of speech, but only if it's the speech they want. The term woke itself is an appropriated term. It amazes me they have the gall to use it. A lot of what they do amazes me, but it doesn't amaze me that little right-wing pundits latch onto this. What they need to realise is that them making a few quid in the short term comes at the cost of our democracy, and that there's people above them profiting more from the chaos. I've said it before, I'll say it again, don't believe the bullshit. Fuck the Tories.